All right, hello everybody. Scott Golden with Golden Opportunities Coaching here. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you who are seasoned veterans of what we do around here. What we do around here is we give um, advice and counsel on a variety of social, emotional, and spiritual topics, and we try to do that as often as we can. Today we're going to talk about, do you have a friend who's a highly sensitive person, or HSP? Easy for me to say. I deal with HSPs all the time. I happen to be one. Highly sensitive people is a new phenomenon within psychology over the last probably decade and a half, 2 decades. These are individuals that have always existed. They now just finally have a name or a way to identify them. There is a belief that 1 in 5 to 1 in 6 people in the United States happens to be, or in the world rather, happens to be one. And these 10 or 11 things will be a good way for you to know whether you're dealing with one in a friendship way so that you can adjust accordingly. These individuals will know how to read you very well. They will anticipate your emotions, anticipate your thoughts, feelings, and motives behind what you're doing. They may be able to finish your sentences or get you things you like, your favorite food, comfy pillow, whatever, without you even having to ask. And what happens is an HSP will take notes every time, mental notes, every time they're interacting with you, and they'll kind of keep a filing cabinet in their head of things that matter to you, and they'll pull it out when appropriate. Next one is they're deep thinkers. So they're not going to really care about social interaction that's, gee, how's the weather? Gee, what's this lipstick look like on my left upper lip here? They're going to be worried about what's the meaning of life? Why are we here? What are we doing? What's the point? What's the purpose? They're going to ask a lot of why questions and be focused on making things as simplistic as possible within the confines of their understanding of the world. Next thing is they're going to get easily flooded with emotions. These individuals often are extremely emotionally empathic. They're going to pick up on their own emotions and have their own emotions, be very passionate and driven, and which is another thing on the list, which is the passion point. They're going to be very passionate. So if you're on the wrong side of an HSP, it can be a very uncomfortable situation because you have to do a lot of apologizing or backtracking or redefining what you really meant. That can be kind of, you know, uncomfortable. They'll get flooded with negative emotions a lot because unfortunately we live in a world where most people think the world is more negative than positive, and so that is something that an HSP is going to pick up on, carry with them, try to do their best to bring about some resolution to it, and make the world a better place wherever they can, to the point of almost burning themselves out upon occasion. The next thing is they hate cruelty. So an HSP, even if they're going to get their tail handed to them in a physical fight or a verbal debate, they're going to call people out on their stuff. So if they think someone's being abusive or aggressive or hateful or hurtful, they're going to call that person out. They may not do it to their face initially, but sooner or later, every bully will have their day with an HSP, even if it's through putting together a coalition of people to put that bully or that harsh person in their place. They are, next thing, which is highly empathic. They're going to pick up on other people's emotions, the emotions of the room. They're going to pick up on energy, and can be very sensitive to negative and positive energies, and so it's very important that they limit social interaction. An HSP is more likely to need time to recover after large social functions like a concert, party, or everything else, because they're internalizing everyone's emotions, not just those of the people that they've spent the majority of the night talking to. Anything that happens that's emotionally intense, they're going to feel and internalize. The next one is they are focused on justice and fairness. Now, the debate about whether justice actually exists within our human construct is a completely different audio, one I'll probably eventually do sometime down the road, but the HSP is a person who believes that things do have a moral compass and moral code, and they are going to go for and deal with people who believe similar to themselves and call out anyone who doesn't in the most respectful but direct way possible. These people are good listeners. They care about understanding a person. Matter of fact, the greatest compliment that an HSP can give to a person is to be an active listener and to be present, asking the appropriate questions when the need arises. But other than that, realizing they have two ears and one mouth, which means they should listen double the amount of time that they speak. And then they are very self-aware. They can tell you what they think, why they think what they think, and the reason that thinking other ways doesn't work for them. And they'll probably be able to tell you the story, or at least short story, about why they feel the way they do and when they open themselves up to thinking that way. The telling of the story is to try to gain commonality, as in, if we think alike, then we may be more alike, which is useful in friendship situations. The second to last one here is artisticness. So, a person who is an HSP is more likely to be artistic. They are looking consistently for creative outlets. So if you have a friend that's an HSP, they may be a dancer, they may be a singer, they may be a visual artist like a painter or drawer or sculptor. They may be into theater, they may be into movies, they might be a director, but they need more than anything a creative artistic outlet. And when you have an HSP that doesn't have that, you have a very miserable person, because they don't have a place for that energy to go. The final thing is they're open. They're open to other people's emotions and experiences. They're open to learning new things and gaining new perspectives. But they're also open about how they feel about things and trying to use their own personal experiences to help others. So that's the benefit of being friends with an HSP. If that is you, then good luck to you out there. I know it can be difficult. If you have a friend who may be an HSP, it does require you to communicate differently. Perhaps I will do an audio somewhere down the road about communicating with HSPs. I think that would be beneficial to a lot of folks. But until next time, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.